Stringer, Manhattan Borough President. I'm joined by Chris Shelton, the Vice President of the Communication Workers of America. And we're also here with Vinny Alvarez, President of the New York City Central Labor Council, as well as three extraordinary members of the City Council, Jessica Lappin, Ydanis Rodriguez, Jamani Williams, and we're also joined by Patrick Sullivan, who's my rep to the PDP, as well as Councilmember Crowley, who is here as well. Pardon me. We're here today to demand that Verizon repay the city profits it made through its association with technology contractor Ross Lanham. Federal authorities allege defrauded the Department of Education of more than $3.6 million. The school special investigator found in his report last April that Verizon collected more than $800,000 as a result of this fraud. When the investigation was first announced, the company said it was prepared to return any inappropriate profits to the Department of Education. We haven't seen a dime so far, and the DOE just awarded the company a whopping 2-year, $120 million contract to provide voice and data connectivity to our schools. Meanwhile, Verizon is asking its unionized workers to give up job security, pay more for health insurance, and settle for frozen pensions. Now, what kind of message are we sending if we as a city reward a company for the profits on the backs of its middle-class workers and our school children? From fiscal year 2004 to 2012, the Education Department's spending on outside consultants soared over 450%, or more than $800 million. The contract with the city doesn't just cover the exchange of money for goods and services. It is a promise to the public that their tax dollars will be used in the fairest, most honest, and most transparent manner possible. At a time when our schools are scrambling for every penny, any company that does business with the city on the scale of Verizon should be a model corporate citizen. You must return the money now. You must send a signal to this city that you will be a good corporate citizen. There is no time to wait. There is no time to negotiate. If you got the money by ill-gotten gains, then you have to return it. And the second thing Verizon has to recognize is that the men and women who work at this company, every single day, they do the right thing by this corporation and this city. We also want to remind them that a little respect for workers goes a long way in the city of New York. Wouldn't you agree with that? Yeah. So today we're gathered with some very important, prestigious people who are going to speak to this issue as well. The first person I'd like to call up is a great union leader in this country, Chris Shelton, Vice President of the CWA. Come on up.
Thank you, Scott. You know, we're here today because a company that made $22.5 billion over the last 4 years has decided that even though the city has awarded them a $120 million contract, that they have decided not to pay back the over $800,000 that the Department of Investigation has found that they have taken through fraud, maybe not of their own design, but fraud nonetheless. And we think, the CWA thinks, that they should treat the people of the city of New York and the children of the city of New York in the right way, and they should return that money before they get their new $120 million contract. They're kind of treating the people of the city of New York and the children of the city of New York the way they're trying to treat us at the bargaining table. They're crying that they don't make enough money. Well, $22.5 billion with a B seems like enough money to me. And when they pay executives, 4 executives, $258 million over 4 years, I would think that they can afford to pay back ill-gotten gains of $800,000 so that the children of the city of New York can go to school and share in programs that they should have, and that people will not be laid off by the public school system in the city of New York. The least they can do is to abide by the law and put back the money that they got, regardless of how they got it. They had to know at some point that $800,000 was more than too much than they should have gotten in profit. You know, they're painting themselves now as a victim. Well, anybody who got 800 grand it seems pretty hard to me to paint themselves as a victim, but I don't know. So we're here today to support not only the people of the city of New York, but more importantly, the children of the people of the city of New York, to make sure that Verizon pays back the money that they took, regardless if they knew about the fraud or not. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris. Please welcome Vinny Alvarez, the president of the New York City Central Labor Council.
Thank you. I just wanted, before I begin with my brief remarks, I just wanted to recognize work. It's been a long weekend, we know, for all of us with the weather, and I want to recognize the outstanding work, and I think we all owe the workers, the emergency personnel, of course the workers from CWA and the communication workers, utility workers, and everybody else who's done a phenomenal job at getting this city back up, and we all deserve them a round of applause, so I want to recognize them today. It's a long weekend. I want to thank the elected officials, and I want to thank Chris Shelton and CWA for shedding light on what we know is an incredibly serious problem, an injustice which has taken place, an injustice which really contradicts the basic and fundamental rules of fairness. Fundamental rules of fairness that should be applying. You know, we see New York City taxpayers and New York City in general is starving for funds at a time our city schools are starving for funds, and here we have a situation where $800,000 is out there, and as Chris pointed out, we don't know exactly what it is, what took place, but we do know that there was something that went wrong, an injustice took place, and we are calling on Verizon to return that money. When you can pay $250 million, $250 million to 4 CEOs, the 5 CEOs over the past 4 years, surely you could make the taxpayers of this city and the school children of this city whole. So we call on them to do that. And the New York City Central Labor Council, we want to make one other thing very clear too. We stand very proudly with the workers of CWA and with the workers of Verizon as they continue their fight for fundamental fairness and for a fair contract with a company who's making billions of dollars. It's very important. Our economy is struggling. We need good jobs. As we said, our city schools, they need funds as well. And that's why we're here today, to call on them to return those funds. But we're also here today to make sure that Verizon continues to do the right, hopefully to do the right thing in the future and get back to the bargaining table and negotiate in fairness, with fairness, and in good faith to protect good middle-class jobs for this city, for the workers who built this company up. Thank you.
Thank you. And now we'd like to hear from 4 excellent members of the New York City Council who are here to talk about this issue. The first up is from Manhattan, Councilmember Jessica Lapid.
Verizon, can you hear us now?
Yeah!
Give back the money you obtained fraudulently. I've been talking to parents, to teachers who are struggling with their budgets this year, who are closing classrooms, cutting programs, and the kids in our schools are suffering because of it. This is money that you should return. You should do right by our children. They deserve your respect, and so do the men and women who work for CWA. So treat our children and treat your workers with respect.